Working in Silicon Valley as a woman is
frustrating,
complicated,
exhausting.
Every woman in our group says she's been sexually harassed. Talking about it publicly for the first time is not easy, but women are finding the courage. We saw that play out before our very eyes. Leaning in, eagerly listening. And afterwards, as we all chatted, Catherine Minshew told us she had more to say. A story she's never told publicly. She agreed to sit back down with us and try to make sense of what happened to her 4 years ago.
We walked into the apartment, and it's funny because the next 10 minutes or so that we were up there were so stressful that there's things about it that I'm trying to remember the order of what happened.
Like the other women, Catherine built her company, The Muse, from nothing.
And I love it. This dream that we sat around a kitchen table, 5.5 years ago and thought of into a reality.
She met an investor in 2012 at a conference. He asked how much capital she'd raised.
And I said $100,000. And he said, great, count me in for $100,000 as well.
A year later, as her business was low on cash, he offered to invest 10 times that amount, $1 million.
And he's like, let's meet up later tonight and we'll kind of game plan the whole thing. I feel so naive now. I showed up to the meeting with blank paper and pens for the brainstorming we were going to do. And he's like, let's go to this empty corporate apartment. Nobody uses it. It's quiet. And
at this point, did any bells go off of, we're alone, he's asking me back to the corporate apartment? Alert.
Yeah, I think there's always, as a woman operating in business, I always have this radar that's like, is this a good idea? Is this right?
But she thought she'd already met his wife. He had met her boyfriend, and she was excited at the prospect of his help. And then?
He poured 2 glasses of bourbon, really big glasses of bourbon, and then he took his hand and he put it on the back of my head and pulled my face into his face. And all of a sudden, all I could think about was oh my God, this is happening to me right now. And I turned my head really quick so that his lips hit my cheek instead of my face, which is what he was going for. I'm even telling you now, my whole stomach feels like ice. But I was just thinking, I have to just get out of this situation.
Catherine left and was able to find the cash elsewhere. Her business is now thriving, so we asked, was she ready to name the man now?
Will you go on the record now?
You could see her wrestling with that step. In the end, Catherine chose not to share the man's name, yet.
But I found you at an interesting time because it hasn't come out publicly and you're wrestling with what to do. And you do have power now, but clearly there's a fear that what? That
I think one of them is I have spent probably 80 to 100 hours a week over the last 5.5 years building my company. And the thought that that could be derailed or overshadowed by some jerk who wants to defend their own inexcusable behavior by trying to drag me into a lawsuit, a he said, she said. If you Google me, I want you to find the company that I built, the things that I've done that I'm proud of. I don't want 10 articles that say, Catherine Minshew, was assaulted. That's not what I want to be about. I wish I didn't have to talk about it, but I also feel like if I don't say something, who will?
Catherine's finding her voice, her nerve, and journalist Kara Swisher says other women need to find theirs, too.
So to those 22-year-olds who are starting right now, in Silicon Valley, in news, in any male-dominated profession, who are scared, what-less.
Yeah.
What is your advice?
Don't be scared. Someone's got to speak up. That's a really hard thing for people to do. But if we keep exposing that and saying it, it will have an impact. That's what I believe.
There's no simple solution to this problem, but some are proposing a basic rule of thumb. If you're in a position of power over another, don't hit on them. Period. And if you're a woman facing sexual harassment, remember there is safety in numbers. Reach out to other women. The odds are you are not alone.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here. And click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.